Hello traders, this is Blake Morrow and I'm going to be your host today for the daily Roundup webinar. I want to welcome you guys and gals. Usually Paul Franco has been doing these. We're going to change it up for the first, at least probably the first quarter of this year, just kind of changing it up a little bit, giving you guys a different flavor of the market, but it's still going to be about a 10 or 15 minute quick overview of the FX market and where we're at today. And I'm going to kind of give you guys an update of what I'm looking at and what I'm looking for moving into the Asian session. So first and foremost, let's just note that the dollar is actually rallying and the dollar has been pushing higher. I personally, I traded the euro long at the 38% retracement today. I got a really nice bounce out of it too. The 111.70, 111.73 level, I picked it up at like 75, played it back towards 111.90. It did, top out at 112. And you'll notice how we're hitting new lows again. And this is typical, in my opinion, of a pretty strong trend that's just pulling back a little bit. I think a lot of traders expected the dollar to bounce going into the beginning of the year because the end of year flows were so negative, the dollar across the board, that like I said, I think this is expected. Now, what I am looking for going into Asian and European trade going into tomorrow is I'm going to be looking for a pullback in the euro towards this 111.40 level. There's a lot of support down here, and let me explain to you guys all those support levels that I'm looking at in the euro. First of all, you have what I would consider channel support. You see it in the red. Looks like that. It's very a loose channel, if you will. Okay, so it's not so important to me that we get all the way down to 111.12 or 111.20, but it is, I think, a level that could be tested. What I am looking for though is the 618 retracement, which is going to be down here towards the 111.30 level. I think that's a realistic expectation for the euro. Now, ultimately, I know a lot of you guys and gals are probably thinking, well, maybe the euro is just a false breakout. I don't believe that, actually. I actually look at the euro dollar as having a nice sustained break above 112 for a couple of days. And yeah, we are pulling back, should allow for a little bit further of a pullback. But notice all the key daily developments that's happened. Let's not forget about those. So yeah, I was talking on a little bit more near-term basis, but think about this on a longer-term basis. We're above the 200-day moving average. The 200-day moving average does come in at 111.40. I think it's possible we get back down there again. Once again, I think we could overshoot it towards the 30 level. We are above every trend line that you can really look at in the euro dollar from last year, the downtrend that we've seen. We've broken it. So now that we've broken all these trend lines, yeah, it's natural that we get a pullback towards them, but you have to be ready to take advantage of them should we get there. And that's why I think a move down towards the 200-day moving average, this 111.20, 111.40 level is going to be kind of a sweet spot for longs, and that's where I'm looking to be. And I've got some orders down there, and we'll see if they get hit or not. When I'm trading overnight, especially that I can't. It is a 24-hour market, and I obviously cannot stay awake throughout 24 hours. So what I tend to do is I tend to put open orders around the levels that I want to be at, that are usually smaller positions, well, smaller orders, so like, let's say I normally trade 10 lots. I'm just using that as an example. I might put in an order of like 5 or maybe 3. And so I like to get a little, flavor of how it reacts down there, because if I'm not in front of the computer, if I'm out at a sporting event with my kids, or if I'm sleeping, I want to be able to take advantage of it. So as I mentioned to you, I've got some orders that are residing down here in the euro dollar. We'll see if they get triggered or not. I kind of hope that they do. I want to be long down there. All right. The other currency I wanted to talk about, and again, this is a Roundup webinar. If you want a more, wider look at all of the different currencies, you're going to have to tune into the FACE webinar every day, because the FACE webinar that we host at every morning at I'm trying to think of 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Kind of had to do the math there in my head. That is where you're going to get a broader based overview of what I'm looking at. But the other currency that I really wanted to look at today is I wanted to look at the cable. The cable is pulling back, and I did buy it actually, believe it or not, and I made money. You know, it's like you think about like what the price action happened today, but I bought the euro and the pound basically at the same time, within about, I want to say about 20 or 30 minutes of each other. I bought the cable down at 131.30. Well, my cost average was 47. I bought some at 50, and I bought a little bit more at like 35. That first spike down, I just picked off the very low. When it bounced back towards the 80s, I sold it for a small gain. Could have made a little bit more as we rallied to 132, but since then we pulled back. Now, overall, I am bullish the pound. Do I think that the price action is pretty bearish today? Yes, I do. So I think the price action is not very, favorable for bulls at this moment. But that doesn't mean that we won't get a rally. What I'm thinking here is that overnight, we're probably going to push below this level of support here. You can see these lows right through here from like mid-December. December, this is December 19th. What I think is going to happen is we're going to push all the way down to the 618. Now, this is more of a long shot for me, with the 130.50 level that I think is going to get tested. That's 80 pips away from where we're currently at. And after dropping over 100 overnight and really, from these highs over here, I think you're asking quite a bit for the cable. But again, this is one of those situations that I doubt I'll be in front of the computer. I'll be asleep, in the event that we head down there, whether it's tonight or tomorrow morning. So 130.50 I think is going to get tested, but don't be surprised if the cable doesn't give back much more than where we're currently at. I mean, the pound, that's what I'm hoping happens. But what may happen is we might find some support down here around the 131 level, and this pullback that you're seeing here is actually more of the pullback you want to be buying. But like I said, I'm just hoping to get more lucky on getting a clip off down at the 130.50 level. One of the other things that I want to take into consideration today is something that I tweeted about, and it is currency related, but more importantly, it's the S&P related. So you got the S&P. We have made a lower high thus far. That doesn't mean that the S&P is done going up. I'm not gonna make that bold of a prediction right now. But the one thing that the S&P did, and let me actually put in a 4-hour chart just to give you guys a better flavor here. All right, so you can see this broken trend line right here, right? Broken trend line. We came back, retested that broken trend line. We have made a lower high as of right now. If this resistance holds, okay, that means we make a lower high, it holds, and let's just say we roll over going into the the end of the week, considering tomorrow is Friday. Then something that I've been really looking at is these yen pairs, and specifically, the dollar yen. The dollar yen is really underperforming. You can see how we broke through this channel low. Let the rest of the chart populate here. So we had this like kind of loose channel. We broke through that channel low. We came back, retested the underside of that channel, and failed. Now you can argue and say, well, Blake, didn't we do a false breakdown here? Yeah, potentially. But what I'm trying to point out is the yen is very strong, considering how strong stocks are, and that is a very, very big concern if you're long, the dollar yen or the Aussie yen or euro yen or something like that. Given the fact that stocks are so strong, yet the yen is strong as well, is really a problem if you're long, dollar yen or any of the other yen pairs. So would I be shorting the dollar yen now? No. But if the S&P really signals that this is a high and we fail to break out, let's say going into the beginning of next week, then we've got to really start focusing on these yen pairs, not just the dollar yen and how it's underperformed, but the euro yen, Aussie yen, and I guess one other currency pair I'm just going to bring to your attention really quick is this Aussie yen. I was following this, like what I was thinking might be a flag. It broke down. But what's more important about the Aussie yen is this failure at the 618 retracement. Big failure up here at the 618. I was hoping earlier today, this was, I'm talking 4 or 5 hours ago, I was hoping the Aussie yen might get back to 76.30 because I was going to short it. Because the risk reward is very manageable from here, right? Actually, let me move this really quick. I just need to move that alarm. The risk reward is very manageable from here if you're on the short side, because if it got up to 76.30, I could put my stops above these highs and just say, oh, well, screw it, I'm going to be short as long as it's below this 618. But the problem is it started moving lower without me because we didn't get a bounce. And again, I'm backtracking a few hours ago when we were here. I was thinking, okay, well, Aussie's going to bounce maybe to here, and then I can get short because, I thought stocks were higher. It's going to drag the Aussie yen up. Never happened. So that in itself is bearish. I had actually an open order to sell the Aussie yen at 76.30 this morning. I already canceled it. It's not there anymore because I realized that, it just sold off. And so there was nothing for me to do. But what I am trying to point out here is the big underperformance of the Aussie yen, the dollar yen, and every other yen pair out there as well. So, guys and gals, I'm going to say this. I'm going to leave you with this. If you have not tried out ForexAnalytix, wait for about a week, because we're going to have our New Year's special for you. So just wait, and it's a big one. It's a doozy. It's one that we only run one other time during the year. So take advantage of it then. All right, guys, my name is Blake Morrow. I'm with ForexAnalytix. This has been the daily Roundup webinar, and I will catch you tomorrow before the weekend. I'll be here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great one.